taking out the garbage. Where you been?
Shit, man, I've been taking care of these motherfuckers.
Oh, damn.
Y'all was coming in, and now you're backing out. Now you're backing out. It's hard to talk big with a shotgun in your mouth. Shotgun in your mouth. I'm glad you brought your friends. They can watch it go down. Watch it go down. I got mine too. So welcome to my house. Cause these are my people, and this is my land. This is my land. This is what we pray for, and this is God's plan. This is God's plan. And if you ain't from here, then you won't understand. You won't understand. This is my country, and this is who I am. So welcome to my house. So welcome to my house. Mine. You better believe it, cause today won't be your day. I can guarantee it, you should turn and walk away and get to leaving, or I'll let this 12 gauge do all my speaking. Don't push me on the edge, boy. Don't push me on the edge, boy. Cause I'm aiming for your head, boy. I'm aiming for your head, boy. And all I see is red, boy. And all I see is red, boy. I told you not to cross that line. I told you not to cross that line. I'm giving you a chance, boy. I'm giving you a chance, you see boy. The devil in a glance, boy. The devil in a glance, I can knock you out your pants, boy. Knock you out your pants, boy. I told you not to fuck with mine. I told you not to fuck with mine. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Y'all was coming in, and now you're backing out. Now you're backing out. It's hard to talk big with a shotgun in your mouth. Shotgun in your mouth. I'm glad you brought your friends. They can watch it go down. Watch it go down. I got mine too. So welcome to my house. Cause these are my people, and this is my land. This is my land. And this is what we pray for, and this is God's plan. This is God's plan. And if you ain't from here, then you won't understand. You won't understand. This is my country, and this is who I am. So welcome to my house. So welcome to my house.
I got a baby baby girl inside this house, and right now she's sound asleep. So it's probably best for the both of us if you just turn around and leave. Cause if you come in this fucking house, then you too gonna go to sleep. I promise you, boy, don't play with me. I pray to God my soul to keep. Especially this day and age, gotta handle shit our own way. With a 30-30 horse 12 gauge behind this door, you're hella weight. My old lady, she rides too, picking up every shell case, mopping up these blood stains, but she ain't seen a damn thing. Most of my people are convicts, hard-headed, no nonsense. So please approach with caution. You never know who's watching. You never know what's on the other side of that front door, and you knocking. Might step out like motherfuckers get to dropping. All the neighbors heard was the dogs barking. The sun was down, it was getting dark, and I told the sheriff it ain't no problems, man. I was just taking out the garbage. So if you don't mind, please excuse me. I'm with the family trying to watch a movie. I'm sure you got better things to do, so I'll let you go and get back to duty.
Coming in, and now you're backing out. It's hard to talk big with a shotgun in your mouth. Glad you brought your friends, they can watch it go down. I got mine too, so welcome to my house. Cause these are my people, and this is my land. And this is what we pray for, and this is God's plan. My country, this is who I am. So welcome to my house. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. So welcome to my house. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. So welcome to my house. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. So welcome to my house.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to night number 4 of the Racing to the Rumble presented by Fatheads Eyewear as we continue the chase towards $1,000 and a General Tires gift certificate, which will be awarded at the season finale December 18th during the 23rd annual Rumble in Fort Wayne. 4 drivers will qualify for that big race after tonight's feature event, the virtual Williams Grove Speedway, and will join the previous 12 qualifiers. Everyone else will have 5 more chances. To all our viewers out there, stay tuned on the Rumble in Fort Wayne Facebook page to enter in to the Ultimate Rumble VIP fan experience. It's going to be a great night, and we're glad you're joining us for this great racing action being produced tonight by UltimateDirtTV and Tim Sims. Tonight's racing format, the 410 wing sprint cars with a fixed setup. Time trials will be used with the fastest 40 qualifiers advancing to heat races. There will be 4 heat races, 12 laps the distance, staggered with a 6 invert. The top 4 will go to the A main. Positions 5 through 10 will go one of 2 B mains. Each 1 and 3 will go to the B number 1. 2 and 4 finishers will go to the second B main. B mains will be lined up by the heat race, finish straight up, 12 laps of each of those, no yellow flags. Top 4 from each B main transfer to the A main behind the heat transfers. The A main will be 30 laps. Positions 1 through 16 will be filled by the heat race transfers. The positions 17 through 24 will come from the B mains. Alternates, or if needed, come from the B mains. The top 4 finishers from tonight's A main qualify for the December 18th finale at the Rumble in Fort Wayne on December 18th. Once you're qualified for the finale, you're ineligible to compete in remaining preliminaries. So lots to there as looking to tonight's Racing to the Rumble is presented by Fatheads Eyewear. We also want to thank General Tire, UDTV, Tim Sims, the Holiday Inn in Purdue and Fort Wayne, Super Clean, and of course, the Rumble in Fort Wayne for their support. Tonight's $50 feature win bonus is being sponsored by Down and Dirty Racewear. Cars are on the track now for practice. Guys getting ready to go. While we're doing this, going to welcome in my fellow broadcaster tonight, the head of UDTV, Mr. Brett Wheeler.
Well, thank you, Jerry. It's good to be back here once again. I love these once-a-month races, and, well, what better way to come to the famous Williams Grove Speedway, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, where, again, we're going to lock in another 4 drivers and looking forward to tonight's action.
It's been a fun first 3 races coming into tonight, looking to see who else we're going to get locked in. And I'm telling you what, I'm just glad that Kyle Larson guy isn't here.
Well, he's won everything but a race to the Rumble, racing to the Rumble in Fort Wayne. He won't have a chance to. Well, he does have a chance if he decides to ever get on here. But I mean, hey, why would you get on here when you can win $176,000 at the Knoxville Nationals, right?
Absolutely. Between the 175 at Eldora, the 176 at Knoxville, $50,000 in the late model. Who needs $1,000 from racing the Rumble, right?
In what, a couple of months, he's earned nearly $500,000 just from racing. That's not including the NASCAR stuff that he's won as well.
Boy, he's something else. I tell you what, it's fun to watch him win the Nationals and get that one knocked off his bucket. And I hope we get to see him in an IndyCar one of these days real soon.
Well, wouldn't that be something special? Like I said, to see what we are seeing Kyle Larson do, just you can't compare it to anybody else. I know people like to compare him to previous drivers, on the World of Outlaws schedule, or the likes of Steve Kins, or better than Donnie Schatz and stuff like that. To be honest, there is no one that you can compare him to for what he's done in the NASCAR world, the dirt world, the speedway world. It's just he gets in anything and he just wins.
Absolutely. He's one of those guys that, I mean, like you said, you can compare him to a Kinzer, to a Donnie Schatz, to an AJ Foyt, a Mario Andretti. But those guys had their disciplines that they were awesome at. And he goes across the board. It's sprint cars, it's midgets, it's NASCAR stock cars. And I think he gets in an Indy car or an F1 car, he's going to win there just like he has everything else. Don't forget, race fans, if you're watching in, make sure you jump on the Rumble Fort Wayne Facebook page and like and share and comment for your chance to win the Rumble VIP fan experience, where you can win 2 reserve seats for both nights of the Rumble 23 on December 17th and 18th. You'll also receive a complimentary 2-night stay at the Holiday Inn Purdue Fort Wayne, right across the street from the Coliseum, with breakfast and Fatheads Eyewear swag from Fatheads Eyewear. Man, that's a heck of a deal. I need to get signed up for that.
Yeah, can we participate in that one?
Larry just messaged me, said we're not eligible.
Oh, well, he's a bit of a party pooper. But hey, that doesn't stop any other people from getting in and having that chance to be in the draw to win that wonderful prize.
Absolutely. Make sure, again, you get on the Rumble and Fort Wayne Facebook page. Make sure you like, comment, and share on tonight's broadcast, and that will get you entered in for that awesome drawing. Before we get underway with tonight's racing action, we would like to present you with our invocation. Please bow your head. Heavenly Father, as we gather here in the harbor of your safety, we thank you for fellowship and family. We ask that you strengthen us, restore us, and inspire us with your love. Lord, would you fill us with your peace so that we journey onwards, we would pour out your love and grace to others. We ask that our souls would catch the wind of your spirit so that we would take your promises to all the earth. In Jesus' holy name, amen. And now a salute to our great nation with the singing of our national anthem by Rusty Shields from Ellettsville, Indiana. Rusty is a regular performing at racetracks all over the country, including Eldora for the World 100.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you once again to Rusty Shields from Ellettsville, Indiana, for that beautiful rendition of the American National Anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. As we get into Fatheads Super Clean qualifying, now on the track, drivers getting to set their times to set their starting positions for tonight's heat races in the Racing of the Rumble, presented by Fatheads Eyewear.
Yeah, we've got something close to 25 drivers signed into the virtual pit area here tonight. One driver that will be looking for redemption after a month ago found himself with a good starting position at the Limelight Motorsports Park. Sean Stevens in that Wyobe number 26 machine. He's from Australia, so he's looking to hopefully make the trip and into the top 4 later on tonight as he goes 6 quicker than 19.202. Kevin Hanley tops the world with an 18.855. Braden Baker goes quick time, 18.806. And Joe, we're going to see those time sheets. It's going to go up and forth, back and down. Drivers are going to be all over the racetrack because they are trying to set their best 2 laps, which is what is going to set up their main event.
Absolutely. And Williams Grove, one of the tricky tracks on iRacing. Going to see some of the cream of the crop, as you will, rise to the top as we watch now. Brandon Umberfirth on the track.
Here's a guy that is going to want to get himself with a good qualifying position. Justin Clark, I think he raced the 305 Sprint car, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right on that one, Jerry?
Yes, sir. Justin Clark right here from the great state of Ohio. Pilots a 305 Sprint car. Does a heck of a job, getting better each and every week. Look to see him in victory lane real soon.
We'll see what he can do. Drew Hopkins with an 18.441 goes quick time, 18.441, and that's very surprising considering that his specialty is probably late models. Justin Clark, 18.908. He goes 7th quick with an 18.908. Going to look to improve on lap number 2. We'll see how far Justin Clark can move up in the qualifying standings. He goes fourth quick with an 18.778. And there are still a bunch of drivers that are trying to go out and race. I think we're looking at now close to 35 drivers signed into the virtual pit area for tonight.
Great field of cars on tap for tonight at Racing to the Rumble at the Williams Grove Speedway. Drew Hopkins right now on top of the speed charts in qualifying. Michael Millard second, Kevin Hanley third, Justin Clark fourth, and Braden Baker currently your top five in qualifying. Like you said, several drivers still hitting the track. We got one now this is Joseph McLaughlin piloting the 57, so famously raced by the one and only Kyle Larson, trying to cut his laps here and make his way to the top of the speed charts right now, 23rd with a 19.544. Jumps up to 15th now with a 19.143 for Joseph McLaughlin.
Well, I think that's 28 drivers that have turned a lap. We've still got 11 drivers who are yet to take a time. So that means 39 drivers. So nearly 40 drivers signing in to the pit area here at the Williams Grove Speedway. They're all trying to take out quick time. But at the moment, Drew Hopkins... Now, Michael Millard, again, I'm pretty sure he races a 360. I'm going to say out in the state of California.
That one I'm not sure. I'd have to look him up, but I know I hear the name a lot only in the iRacing circles. He's someone that's definitely tough to contend with, along with Kevin Hanley, Justin Clark, Braden Baker. All these guys looking to claw in their way in to get to that top four tonight in tonight's A-Main.
Well, we're looking at just under 30 seconds left in this qualifying session. Again, it looks like nobody else will take a lap time, so that is going to put that'll put Drew Hopkins on the pole of heat race number one. And even if someone wants to go out there right now, they would not have enough time, because by the time you do, you're looking at an 18-second lap time. You still got to go out there. You've got to leave the pits, so you're still looking to get one full lap in. You're looking at around 40 seconds by the time you leave the pit area. But as the checkered flag will now wave here on the qualifying session, it is completed. Race number 4. The man that goes quick time is Drew Hopkins. And we'll take a look here at your qualifying results coming up on your screen with an 18.441. We are not race 2 at Limeland. We are race 4 at Williams Grove. Yeah. There we go.
Michael Millard goes second quick. Kevin Henley third, Justin Clark fourth, and Braden Baker rounding out the top 5 in tonight's qualifying session. But like you said, Drew Hopkins picking up tonight's Super Clean Quick Time Award.
Yeah, we'll see.
Heat race number 1 lining up at Williams Grove. Front row looks like this. Drew Hopkins on the pole, Braden Baker to his outside.
Doug Hammaker lines up out of position number 3. Sean Stevens at 26 out of position number 4.
Jordan Maher lines up inside row number 3 with Austin Holsey onto his outside.
Justin Zabotny. We just used to call him Justin Zapp, so that's what I'm going to go with. Justin Zapp lines up out of position number 7. And Lawson Sorensis, he starts 8th.
Inside row number 5 will be Kenny Larino, and to his outside, Connor Prokop. And that rounds out your starting lineup for tonight's heat race number 1 for Racing to the Rumble, presented by Fatheads Eyewear from the Williams Grove Speedway.
Well, we've got 2 cars that failed to make the call for tonight's opening heat race of the night, so that'll put 8 cars getting ready to tackle the big half a mile of a racetrack. And boy, what a racetrack this is. It is so technical here on the iRacing service. I can't imagine what it's like to get around here in the real world. Tell you what, it's going to be a tough night for some of these drivers, especially with the slick track conditions.
Absolutely. Williams Grove Speedway, one of the most unique tracks in all of dirt track racing, and these guys are going to have to get up on the wheel and really hone their game to be able to get to the top 4 tonight at the Racing of the Rumble event.
Well, we are set for a start this time by Drew Hopkins. Braden Baker will lead us to the green flag. Off turn number 4, we are racing Drew Hopkins, the 157 machine, Goes to the bottom side. Oh, there's contact there for positions 3 and 4. Braden Baker into second spot on the top side. And that'll put Sean Stevens up to position number 3.
Drew Hopkins getting a great start, but here comes Braden Baker railing the outside through turns 3 and 4, trying to get a run down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Drew Hopkins down on the bottom, Braden Baker right up against the wall, trying to get a run. Sean Stevens a distant third now, but the battle is looking like it's going to be up front. Here comes Braden Baker again, slides out to that left thin edge of a cushion, and down the front straightaway, Drew Hopkins holds the lead.
Yeah, 2 laps into this 10-lap journey for heat race number 1. Again, 4 heat races on the program for tonight. It is Drew Hopkins piloting the Drew Hopkins Racing number 157 machine. To the bottom he goes. He's good on the bottom side, and that's where there's still a fair bit of moisture down on the bottom side. This is where it can get very technical for some of these drivers because they may not be used to the slick racetrack.
Absolutely, and you really got to know how to use that throttle to keep that car from stepping out, getting too sideways on you. And right now, Drew Hopkins is showing his mastery of that down on the bottom. Braden Baker now heading to the bottom to follow him. Sean Stevens third. Battle for fourth now between Justin Zapp and Kenny Loreno. Looks like Zapp has it right now. Loreno trying to get a run down the back straightaway on Justin Zapp.
Yeah, Zapp into that 4th and final transfer position right now, but here comes Loreno working back to the outside here on the exit of turn number 4, getting a little loose as he heads down the front straightaway. Meanwhile, Sean Stevens trying to come after Braden Baker for position number 2, but Baker drives away from Stevens as this field starts to spread themselves out. The gap closes in for the battle for the race lead between Drew Hopkins and Braden Baker. Working the front straightaway, 6 down, 4 to run. The gap was half a second.
Drew Hopkins running a masterful race down on the bottom of the speedway. Braden Baker searching anywhere he can to find a line where he can gain on Hopkins. Meanwhile, Sean Stevens trying to see if he can catch the top 2. Loreno and Zapp still going at it back there for that 4th and final transfer spot.
Yeah, in comes Doug Hammaker in that number 66 machine, being told that he's a 410 driver in PA. So, again, Williams Grove Speedway, it brings out, well, drivers from Pennsylvania. Well, the posse, they're trying to defend their turf here tonight.
Even on iRacing, the posse trying to grab a win against some very tough competitors from all over the country down the back straightaway. Doug Hammaker gets by Justin Zapp for the 4th spot. Drew Hopkins comes down. He'll see the white flag this time by.
Yeah, 1 to run for your race leader, Drew Hopkins. Working out of turn 2. There you see the 71 of Braden Baker just shoot into the screen. We work into 3 and 4 for the final time. Heat race number 1 of 4 is about to be complete, and Drew Hopkins will win heat number 1. Second will go to Braden Baker. Third at the line will be Sean Stevens, and Doug Hammaker will come home in that 4th and final transfer position. Justin Zapp home in 5th, and Austin Halsey home in position number 6. Of course, Loreno and Maherta, both drivers finishing back on pit road. We'll bring up heat race number 1 results for you right now. Race number 4 here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Hopkins, Baker, Stevens, and Hammaker all going to the show. Everybody else will get sent to the consolation races. Michael Millard lines up the 23 machine from position number 1. To the outside will be Mason King, position number 2.
Starting third on the grid, it's Darren Krupp in the number 27. Outside him, Randy Shreves in the 56.
Bradley Cox lining up at a position number 5. To the outside, at a position number 6, it'll be Trent Way.
Starting inside row number 4, it's Curtis Klinger. And outside him will be Landon Crawley in the 187.
Then we go back to your 5th and final row, positions 9 and 10. Out of position number 9, it's Kyler Johnson. At a position number 10, we'll see Luke Talbot. And I can confirm drivers that were meant to start 8th and 10th, so Crawley and Talbot, did not make the call for heat race number 2. So that'll put 8 cars on the racetrack once again. 10 laps is the distance. And so far, Jerry, we've seen 16 drivers take to the racetrack for heats number 1 and 2.
And what a field we've seen. Drew Hopkins picking up that big win in heat race number 1. Michael Millard looking to do the same thing here in heat race number 2. But he's going to have a hard-charging Mason King, Darren Krupp, and Randy Shreves in row 2 trying to chase him down.
Well, I've always had the debate. What's the sprint car capital of the world? People say Pennsylvania. A lot say Knoxville. You say Limaland, or just Ohio in general. But what have you made? Yeah, we've been to Limaland in race number 2. I don't think we're yet to go to Knoxville. Oh no, Knoxville was round number 1. So we've been to Limaland, we've been to Knoxville. I think we're at Charlotte in the 3rd race. Now we're here at the Williams Grove Speedway. What do you make of the racetrack so far, Jerry?
Man, there's nothing like Knoxville Raceway. That's where the Sprint Car Hall of Fame is. That's where the home of the biggest sprint car race in the world is. But, man, you can't ever beat Williams Grove for great racing, with it being such a tricky and technical track. Same thing with Eldora Speedway. So I'll never put one completely above the other, but Eldora here in Ohio will always have a firm place in my heart as we're green with race number 2.
Yeah, Millard will lead out of turn number 4. Mason King running in 2nd spot. Krupp back there in 3rd. Now Krupp on the inside. Krupp running the Shark Racing number 1S machine for Dryden. That Logan Schuhart number 1S. But look at Mason King back to the outside. They'll drag race under the bridge. Down into turn 3. King to the top side. Krupp and Millard both rolling the bottom side. Look at King getting a little squirrely there off of turn number 4.
Absolutely. Now, Garen Krupp trying to stick his nose underneath Michael Millard. Nothing doing. Millard will slam the door. Like you said, Garen Krupp is running that beautiful throwback Shark Racing scheme from Bobby Allen's 1990 Knoxville Nationals Championship that was so famously ran this past weekend by Logan Schuhart and Jacob Allen. And Garen Krupp is trying to use it right now to make a run towards the front, but now he's got company in the battle for second.
Yeah, this battle is on for positions number 2 and 3. It's still Millard, your race leader. Mason King getting a big run on the top side of turn number 3 and 4. And now King sets his sights on the tail tank of the 23 machine. Meanwhile, Krupp back to the inside into turn number 1 and 2, but he's no match for the top side of the racetrack. Top might be the place to be in heat number 2. Top 1 and 2. And maybe the bottom 3 and 4, and that's exactly where Michael Millard is rolling the bottom side right now. He comes out of turn number 4, Mason King. Oh boy, that was certainly tight for Mason King and Michael Millard.
Mason King having troubles getting off of turn 4. That car stepping out on him, shooting him back down to the inside of the track, but that's not letting him slow him down as he closes in once again on your leader, Michael Millard.
Millard, King at the line. Oh, there's contact. Oh boy. And look who goes through. Gavin Crott says, thank you very much. Shrees goes into position number 3. King still holds on to position number 2, but that's exactly what a slick racetrack can do. You cannot just mash the throttle. And there is a case of, well, you need to take it easy in the slick. Mason King having some problems out of turn number 4. And now look at Randy Shrees. He has been nowhere in the picture in this entire race. You come to 3 to go. He's got the wing tugged right back in the 56 machine. And he is looking for the race lead into turns 3 and 4 with 2 laps to go this time by.
Gavin Krupp on the high side. He gets loose. Oh, gets into Shreves. They gather it back up. Shreves will take the advantage. They've got company coming behind them in the form of Mason King. If those two don't get it straightened out here, King can run them back down. But now, Randy Shreves with a comfortable lead out front through turns 3 and 4. This time by, they're going to see the white flag. One more lap to go for Randy Shreves, looking to pick up a heat race win in heat race number 2 at Racing to the Rumble, presented by Fatheads.
Well, he works out of turn number 2 and down at the back straightaway under the bridge here at the Grove. Going to give a nice little salute to the turn 3 Beer Hill gang off turn number 4. Checkered flag is going to wave. Randy Shreves gets the job done in heat number 2. Second will go to Gavin Krupp. Mason King with a bent race car, bent right rear, busted rear end, will come home 3rd. Bradley Cox across the line in 4th position. And what a wild heat race that was. We wait on Curtis Klinger to come past the start-finish line. And boy, Jerry, I tell you what, we are really starting to see this racetrack take a lot of, well, it's got a whole lot of slick. There is not a whole lot of moisture left in it. And this is where throttle control really comes back to be a factor.
Absolutely. And it's actually a good thing for a lot of these guys that your Alex Bergerons, guys like that, are locked into the big race already. This is giving these guys a chance to learn a little more, hone their game a little more, and try to be ready for that finale coming in December. Randy Shreves picks up the win in heat race number 2. Gavin Krupp comes home 2nd. Mason King 3rd. Bradley Cox in that 4th and final transfer spot. Curtis Klinger, Michael Millard, Kyler Johnson, and Trent Way will try it through one of 2 B mains.
All right, here we go. Heat number 3 here, racing to the rumble. Race number 4 here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Kevin Hanley lines up the 110 machine from position number 1. Michael Colby lining up on the outside of the front row, position number 2.
Row number 2 on the inside, it'll be Dylan Contra out of Pennsylvania. Outside him is going to be Joseph McLaughlin in the 57.
Jason Furcuron lines up the 74 from position number 5. And Brandon Unverferth?
Unverferth, you got it.
Well, he's going to start position number 6.
Dylan Shreves will line up inside row number 4, and outside him will be Nicholas McGeady.
Greg Molyneux lines up at a position number 9, and Tyler Sheldon at a position number 10. And well, I'm starting to see a trend, Jerry. 2 cars not making the call. That's drivers in 9th and 10th, Greg Molyneux and Tyler Sheldon. But again, like we've seen in the first 2 heat races of the night, we'll see 8 cars take to the racetrack. And I've got to say, I think if I was to pick a winner in this one, I'm going to pick the driver starting on pole here of Kevin Hanley.
I don't think I can argue with you on that one. Kevin Hanley's been fast throughout the first few races of the Racing of the Rumble. Had some bad luck. Now finds himself having a battle here in race number 4. I look for Kevin Hanley to have a good night and possibly punch his ticket to the finale at the Rumble in Fort Wayne.
Well, so far we've locked 12 drivers already into the finale. Of course, we'll lock another 4 drivers from the main event tonight here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Green flag is out. Heat number 3 is upon us. 10 laps on the board. It's Hanley leading into 1 and 2. Contra and Corby side by side. Corby back to the outside of the number 11 machine. That's the red, white and black car. You see working to the bottom side, but the 30 of Contra sneaks up on the inside. A little bit of a right side romance with a right rear and move Dylan Contra up to position number 2.
So look now with that number 57 that we've seen win so many races tonight, piloted by Joseph McLaughlin, trying to close in, but now he's got company in the form of Dylan Shreves.
Yeah, well, here comes McGeethy. What can Shreves do back there? He's now in 7th position. Look out. Oh, that last 57 machine of McLaughlin. Going to go back and fall into position. No, it's back in 6th or 7th now. Back in 7th position. Corby trying to track down Dylan Contra. Contra trying to track down your race leader. You are looking at to make that now a big gap as Contra gets a little loose out of turn number 4. And now that's going to change the top 4 because Corby goes into 2nd spot, McGeethy into 3rd, and Dylan Shreves into that 4th and final transfer position.
But nobody's got anything for Kevin Hanley. He's out to lunch in his own zip code, way out front of this one, pulling away as we come down to complete lap number 5. Hanley leads over Michael Colby, Nicholas McGeethy, Dylan Shreves now make up your top 4. Those 4 right now locked in the transfer spots. Joseph McLaughlin trying to claw his way back in to see if he can get one of those spots in tonight's A-Main.
It is a near 3-second gap for your race leader of Kevin Hanley. That time by lap number 5 is complete. So working lap 6, there's still 5 laps left remaining. Michael Corby runs in 2nd position. Nicholas McGeethy in 3rd. Dylan Shreves in position number 4. Then you go back to Jason McLaughlin and Brandon Unverferth in 6th position. Again, 6 cars left on the racetrack. They're trying to fight it out for the top 4 position to get locked into tonight's main event. 30 laps the distance around the Williams Grove Speedway. Lap number 7 is about to be in the books. And Kevin Hanley still holds a 3-second gap over Michael Corby.
Kevin Hanley's found a very, very important lesson here in this heat race. Sometimes you got to go slow to go fast. You watch Kevin Hanley, looks like he's just creeping through the corners. But it's working for him. He's pulling away, like you said, way out front of this heat race. Michael Colby continues to run 2nd, trying to find anything to try to close in on Hanley. But Hanley way out front. Nicholas McGeethy still runs 3rd, and Dylan Shreves in 4th as your race leader. Coming out of turns 3 and 4, getting ready to see the white flag.
Yeah, half a mile around the famous Williams Grove Speedway, Kevin Hanley. And I'm sure some of these drivers will be itching to see the track get a rework. Of course, that will happen. We'll explain that later on in the program. But right now, Kevin Hanley into 3, out of 4. He will see the checkered flag. Kevin Hanley wins. Michael Corby will come home in 2nd position. Bit of daylight once again, back to 3rd. That will be Nicholas McGeethy. And Dylan Shrees, just like Randy Shrees, they will lock into tonight's 30-lap main event as we take a look here at your official results coming up on screen right now. Here they are. Hanley, Corby, McGeethy, and Shrees all going to the show. Underfirth, McLaughlin, Contra, and Furcuron. Well, they'll have to try again in the consolation race. Heat number 4, your fourth and final heat race of the night. And Justin Clark pilots a 78 machine from position number 1. Ryan Conrad from Pennsylvania lines up at a position number 2.
Starting third will be Anthony Guerin out of Ohio, and starting fourth, coming from your homeland in Australia, Hayden Warrington.
Aiden Welsh lines up at a position number 5. Dylan Allen out of position number 6.
Starting seventh will be Karen Wade. Outside Wade will be Roman Gephardt.
And we go back to your fifth and final row. Cameron Nastasi lines up at a position at number 9, and James Dontonville lining up at a position number 10. As the field makes their way from the front straight behind the iRacing.com pace truck, 3 out of the 10 drivers not making the call, so that only puts 7 on the racetrack for heat number 4. And again, your fourth and final heat race before we move in to 2 consolation races. I tell you what, Jerry, if I'm in a consolation race, I'm not looking forward to it, just for the simple fact that if you want to get into the main event, you've got to go through that last chance qualifier.
Absolutely, and we've seen there's some fast guys that are going to be in those last chance qualifiers, but this track is the great equalizer. Once it starts slicking off, it takes away all that horsepower, and it puts it all firmly in the driver's hands. We're going to find out if Justin Clark can make use of this slick track like Kevin Hanley did in heat race number 3 and get out front and pick up a heat race win.
Well, I think I'm going to go with Justin Clark on the win, although I've got to keep an eye on Hayden Warrington. I think he's more of a midget type of guy, but hey, I tell you what, who knows? We've seen some stranger things here on iRacing. We've certainly seen some strange things already happen here at the Williams Grove Speedway.
Absolutely, something that's not strange is outside row number 2. You see that beautiful Shark Racing throwback scheme. Once again, that's the throwback to Bobby Allen's famous Shark car from 1990 that won the Knoxville Nationals. We'll see if Dylan Allen can pilot that car to the front as we come out of turns 3 and 4 and get ready to pick up the pace here in heat race number 4.
Well, Justin Clark will lead us off turn 4 and down the front straight away. Warrington rides in second position. Anthony Guerin in third. And again, he's got some company with Dylan Allen running the 1A machine. And Allen looks to the inside. Now there's a battle on for 5 and 6 as Welch and Gephardt. They make a little contact right now. Oh, this is where the drivers have to use throttle control. And, well, they've got to find a bit of moisture all around this racetrack. We got contact with Guerin, Allen. And there was, it was Guerin who who went up into the outside barrier.
Dylan Allen and Guerin making contact. Guerin heading up the track and opening over the fence. We'll continue on. Now Dylan Allen feeling the charge from Roman Gephardt for that fourth and final transfer spot. Gephardt going to cross over and try to grab it, but Allen going to battle back on the outside. Gephardt down low, down the back straightaway as they cross the bridge down into turns 3 and 4. The 1A of Dylan Allen up on the top side. They battle side by side out of turns 3 and 4. Still side by side now. Roman Gephardt has that fourth and final transfer spot, and he'll set his sights on the top 3.
Now, right now, it's still Justin Clark leading from Hayden Warrington. Warrington now looking to the inside. Justin Clark made a huge mistake in turns 3 and 4 and opens up the door for Warrington. Oh, look out. Warrington back to the inside. Going to the cushion goes the 78 machine of Justin Clark. Aiden Welsh had some dramas in the 10 machine. What a battle this could be between Justin Clark and Hayden Warrington as we work into turns 3 and 4. Jerry, this time by 5 down, 5 to run.
Cross flags in the air for Justin Clark, who nearly lost that lead after having a big bobble in turns 3 and 4. And once again, he's got a challenge coming from Hayden Warrington out front. Running third is Aiden Welch. Roman Gephardt trying to close in on this battle. Justin Clark with his hands full of a Hayden Warrington.
Well, can Justin Clark hold on to a heat race number 4 victory? Essentially with the inversion that some we haven't spoke about, the feature field is going to have an inversion of 4. So heat number 4 winner will start on pole. So there's a lot on the line for Hayden Warrington and Justin Clark. They both want to get the win. They both want to transfer. But I'm sure that both these drivers would love to start on the pole of tonight's main event. Hayden Warrington leads lap number 7. There's problems there with Welsh and Gephardt coming together. Welsh going upside down. He goes back to the virtual pit area. Justin Clark. How about Dylan Allen back into that 3rd position?
Roman Gephardt hangs on after that contact in 4th, but out front, it's Hayden Warrington. Warrington able to get by Justin Clark. He's looking to pick up the win and put himself on the pole for tonight's main event. Justin Clark doing everything he can, battling to the outside in turns 1 and 2. But Hayden Warrington holds about an 8-car length lead over Justin Clark.
Well, this time by we will see the white flag is out. 1 to run in your 4th and final heat race of the night. Race number 4 here at the Williams Grove Speedway, thanks to Racing to the Rumble. Who will get the win? More than likely, it's going to be Hayden Warrington. He just needs to put 2 left-hand turns together. Here comes Justin Clark with a run on the outside. Oh, Hayden Warrington just getting the job done over Justin Clark. Dylan Allen 3rd, Roman Gephardt 4th, and Anthony Guerin rounds out your top 5. And that will wrap up the 4 heat races on the program. Now we move in to the last chance qualifiers. Here is your heat race number 4. Results on your screen. Warrington, Clark, Allen, and Gephardt all going to the main event. Everybody else to the console. The last chance qualifiers. And the first of those last chance qualifiers are up now.
On the pole of B main number 1, it's Justin Zapp. Outside him, it'll be Brandon Umberford.
Austin Halsey lines up at a position number 3. To the outside, at a position number 4, it's Joseph McLaughlin.
Row number 3 on the inside starting 5th, that's Kenny Loreno. Outside Loreno starting 6th, it'll be Dylan Contra.
Jordan Maherta lines up at a position number 7. Jason Furquion out of position number 8.
Starting 9th, it'll be Lawson Sorensis. And outside Sorensis will be Greg Molyneux in the number 8.
Connor Prokop at a position 11, and position number 12 is Tyler Sheldon. Now there is a number of drivers who did not make the call, and we've got 5 cars on the racetrack. And I'm just noticing, Jerry, that the track crew has just quickly come out after that heat race, and we've gone back to a fresher racetrack.
Like we talked about, that's going to make these guys feel like Superman after those heat races on the very slick racetrack. But how long will it last? How long can these guys hold that and make their way into a transfer spot into tonight's A main? We're about to find out, as we've got Justin Zapp, Brandon Umberford, Jordan Maherter, Joseph McLaughlin, and Dylan Contra ready to race for those 4 transfer spots to tonight's 30-lap A main.
All right, well, here we go. We are going to lock in 4 drivers from this last chance qualifier. Unfortunately, one of these 5 drivers from this last chance qualifier will not make that 30-lap main event.
Someone's going to get their heart broken. 4 guys are going to move on with the chance to lock themselves in to the $1,000 to win finale at the Rumble in Fort Wayne on December 18th. Who's it going to be? Is Brandon Umberford and Justin Zapp set to bring them down?
Zapp will lead us down the front straight away. Maherta looking to the inside. He'll take over position at number 2, but it is going to be Justin Zapp leading under the bridge. Keep an eye on that NOS Energy Drink number 7 machine. The Sunshine, Tyler Courtney, paint scheme of Brandon Umberford in position number 3. Dylan Contra in that 4th and final transfer position. Now look at the 57 of McLaughlin working to the inside. There's your battle for the final transfer spot.
Great battle back there between Dylan Contra and Joseph McLaughlin. McLaughlin will head to the outside this time in turns 3 and 4. Contra going to try to battle back on the inside, but right now that 4th and final transfer spot firmly in the hands of Joseph McLaughlin. Here comes Dylan Contra again. He'll run to the inside, slide up in front of McLaughlin. Back up front, the battle starts to rage now for the 2nd and 3rd spots.
Well, Maherta just driving away from Umberford now through 3 and 4 now. Zapp is going to have his hands full of that 13 machine, but Justin Zapp, well, he's been around the sim world for a number of years, going back to other versions of dirt racing before we come over to the iRacing scene. And we tell him he's actually run, I'm pretty sure he's from Pierre, I'm pretty sure he's actually run a sprint car as well. He used to own a sprint car. I'm not sure if he still does as well.
it just shows what iRacing does for guys that even in the real cars, they come out here and get a chance to continue their careers. You know, maybe can't afford to be in a bit full-size sprint car anymore. Maybe they just, family obligations, things like that will keep them out of the car. iRacing is one of the great ways for guys to get back behind the wheel and compete at the top levels, just like being out on the racetrack at your local hometown.
Yeah, well, there's a number of drivers that obviously use this tool just to keep up their racing around other people, trying to get through lap traffic. If you have those races where they have those long green flag runs, we got McLaughlin having problems in the 57 in turns 3 and 4, but Dylan Contra already out of the event. So no matter what happens to these 4 drivers from here on out, they are going to transfer into tonight's show. But yeah, again, it's a nice little tool to keep up your reflexes and your racecraft as well. And I'll tell you what, iRacing have really hit the nail on the head. They've obviously there's a bit of work to do on the dirt side of things, but hey, for what they've given us, hey, I'm not going to complain.
Absolutely not. This has been nothing short of amazing what iRacing has done. And man, the people that have been involved in doing things and putting on races, guys like you with UDTV, Tim Nichols with Tim Sims, our buddy Matt Henninger with Wicked Cushion. There are so many people that are taking this and grabbing the bull by the horns and trying to grow and expand everything that we're doing. And this dirt racing on iRacing is 100% legit.
Yeah, it certainly is. And actually, Matt's been a long-time supporter and friend here of UltimateDirtTV. He's going back to when we first started up and when we first covered a 360 Sprint Car series presented by Dirty Old Bastards, actually called the Blue Sphere Corporation, which I'm pretty sure he had something to do with as well.
That's pretty cool, man. Guys that have been part of this since the get-go and now coming back as we're on the white flag lap and Justin Zapp into turns 3 and 4 one final time. Getting ready to take the checkered flag. It'll be Zapp, Maherter, Humberfirth, and McLaughlin locking themselves into tonight's A main out of the B main number 1 here, Racing to the Rumble, presented by Fatheads Eyewear at the Williams Grove Speedway.
Yeah, we were just waiting for Joseph McLaughlin to come across the line, but apparently he has decided to try and take on the outside barrier, the wall on the outside. Let me tell you, these walls, they don't move. So just got to wait for the checkered flag to get thrown on the first B main, and there it is. So again, just to confirm your top 4 drivers, Justin Zapp, Jordan Maherter, Brandon Underfirth, and Joseph McLaughlin will get the 4 transfer positions in tonight's first last chance qualifier. Our second last chance qualifier is up next, and Curtis Klinger lines up the 25 from position at number 1. Anthony Guerin in the 14 out of position number 2.
Michael Millard will go off inside row number 2 with Aiden Welch to his outside.
Kyler Johnson lines up at a position number 5. Cameron Nastasi lines up at a position number 6.
Starting 7th out of Australia, it's Trent Way, and to his outside will be Ryan Conrad.
Then we go back to Landon Crawley out of position number 9. Kieran Wade out of position number 10.
And your 6th and final row on the inside will be Luke Tolbert out of Pennsylvania, rounding out the field. It'll be James Dontonville in the number 14.
And that will be all 12 drivers. And now I can confirm we got 6 cars on the racetrack. Of course, if you're running why cars are showing in the starting grid and not on the racetrack, well, it's simple. I'll give you a nice little explanation. Is the simple fact that people register for a race, whether they have computer issues, wheel issues, internet issues, just issues in general, not being able to get into the server, or if they've joined the server and they've decided, well, maybe this isn't for them, they then go and leave the server. Unfortunately, it still shows up in the timing and scoring screen. There's nothing that we can do about it, and the only thing that we can do about it is tell you who's on the racetrack and who's not. And right now it's simple. The drivers that are in grey on the left hand side, so from positions 7 down through to 12, those drivers are not in the race. The drivers in white, those drivers are on the racetrack.
Michael Millard starting 3rd, looking for redemption after trouble in his heat race. Just looking to see if he can race his way in to tonight's A main. That's who I'm going to pick in this B main number 2. Brett.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Michael Millard for B main number 2, working into turn number 1 and 2. Green flag is out, 12 laps the distance. Oh boy, there's some contact and 2 cars. Klinger and Welsh both come together. And that's going to leave 4 cars battling it up for 4 transfer positions. Unfortunately, Klinger and Welsh, if they keep the cars going, they've got a long way to get back up to the top 4.
Meanwhile, out front, you can throw a blanket over your top 3 as Anthony Guerin, Landon Crawley, and Michael Millard do battle here for the top spot in tonight's B main number 2. Millard going to slide him up underneath Anthony Guerin and try to grab the second spot. Guerin going to try to cross over back down the front straightaway. Very close racing between your top 3.
They're very tight into Landon Crawley. Here comes Michael Millard working to the bottom of the racetrack again with the track that has just been freshened up right now. This allows these drivers to go full throttle and really work their racecraft. But again, right now, with the track being reset, what was back to 0%, there won't be a whole lot of passing. But what it's going to do later on, Jerry, for the main event, right around the half race distance, the track is going to widen up. You'll see drivers run on top, and you'll start to see drivers run the low side as well.
And if it can get lucky and take any rubber, you might see guys trying to roll the middle where they can to make passes. It'll be fun to watch. Right now, though, Landon Crawley stretching it out over Michael Millard just a little bit. Distant third is Anthony Guerin and Trent White-Ray currently in that 4th and final transfer spot.
Yeah, weighing that number 46 machine, Aidan Welsh in 5th position, but he's some ways away. I think he's over half a straightaway. In fact, your leaders, well, I don't think they're going to catch him in the next 6 laps because 6 are down and 6 to go. And he's at least about a quarter of a racetrack. And right now, I'll tell you what, they really carry some speed here at the Williams Grove Speedway. They've got these long, tight straightaways. And then, of course, turns 1 and 2, it's actually different to 3 and 4. You can actually hold it wide open in 1 and 2 compared to 3 and 4. You've got to get off the gas at some point.
Absolutely. Williams Grove, again, one of the trickiest tracks in the business just because it is so high speed, but then gets so technical in the corners. And guys, I've seen, trouble for your leader. What happened there? Look out. Big crash. Landon Crawley upside down over in turns 1 and 2. That's going to hand the lead over to Michael Millard. Anthony Guerin second, Trent Wade third, and now Aidan Welch in that 4th and final transfer spot.
No, you would be absolutely annoyed right now. You'd be kicking yourself if you were Landon Crawley because you had the race lead. All you had to do was get around Williams Grove Speedway 4 more times. Don't need to do anything silly. You had the race lead by over half a second. And just one little mistake here at the Grove. And we talked about it being a technical racetrack. That inside wall, if you misjudge it, that is a result of what we've seen Landon Crawley just do.
Landon Crawley getting bit by the inside guardrail here at Williams Grove Speedway as the white flag waves. One more lap for Michael Millard to pick up the victory, punch his ticket to tonight's A main, along with Anthony Guerin, Trent Way, and Aidan Welch. Down through turns 3 and 4, one final time. Checkered flag in the air. Give the win to Michael Millard.
Yeah, Millard very easy after the incident with Crawley. Millard gets the job done. Anthony Guerin home in 2nd. Trent Way in 3rd and out of turn number 4. This time by, we will see Aidan Welsh come across in that 4th and final transfer position. Unfortunately, Crawley and Klinger, well, they will take no further part in race number 4 at the Williams Grove Speedway. Thanks to Racing to the Rumble, Michael Millard gets the win. Anthony Guerin, Trent Way, and Aidan Welsh. Jerry, as we explained, the track has obviously had a reset, and we're certainly looking forward to the main event.
Absolutely. One of the things I want to note about that previous last chance race, Aidan Welch having troubles early on getting together with another car. Did not go to the pits. He stayed out there and limped around, and it paid off for him as Landon Crawley having troubles and dropping out of the race. That handing that 4th and final transfer spot to Aidan Welch, who's now punched his ticket into tonight's A main. There you have it, race fans. Following our 4 heats and 2 B mains, the field has been set for tonight's exciting 30-lap A main from the virtual Williams Grove Speedway. We're going to allow our track crews some time to regroup the track for our 24 starters, where 4 more drivers are going to advance to the finale on December 18th during the 23rd Annual Rumble in Fort Wayne. You're watching night number 4 of Racing to the Rumble, presented by Fat Heads Eyewear. Remember, If you're watching tonight's racing action on the Rumble and Fort Wayne Facebook page, make sure you post a comment, like and share to become entered in our Rumble and Fort Wayne VIP fan experience, where you can win 2 reserved seats to both nights of the Rumble in Fort Wayne 23 on December 17th and 18th, a 2-night stay at the Holiday Inn Purdue Fort Wayne directly across from the Expo Center. You'll get breakfast and swag from Fatheads Eyewear. The winner will be drawn and announced during our Thursday, November 18th Rumble Mumble broadcast. Be sure to tell your friends about this great prize. You can enter during each of the monthly Racing to the Rumble events presented by Fatheads Eyewear through November 16th. Next month's Racing to the Rumble, race number 5, takes place at the virtual Volusia Speedway Park out of Florida. The lightning fast 1/2 mile oval set to see the best drivers in iRacing take on that track to qualify 4 more racers for the Rumble finale. Again, make sure you tune into that Tuesday, September 21st, right here on the Rumble and Fort Wayne Facebook page, UDTV, Tim Sims, wherever you get your iRacing at, come and join us. After sitting idle last year during the pandemic, we are looking forward to a huge Rumble 23, December 17th and 18th from the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum and Expo Center in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Non-stop racing action both days and nights, featuring midgets, winged and non-winged 600cc midgets, go-karts, and quarter midgets. Keep up with all the news surrounding this big event on www.rumbleandfortwayne.com and the Rumble and Fort Wayne Facebook page. Racing to the Rumble is presented by Fatheads Eyewear. We also want to thank General Tire, UDTV, Tim Sims, Holiday Inn Purdue Fort Wayne, of course, the Rumble and Fort Wayne for their support. And tonight's race is sponsored by Down and Dirty Racewear, who will be awarding our feature winner a $50 bonus. If you see Down and Dirty Racewear, Tim Sims out on the road, that's where you'll find all the Down and Dirty Racewear, Dirty Girl Racewear as well. Let's go see Tim and the guys in the trailer. They'll be glad to hook you up with some of that great-looking racewear. We're ready to go with tonight's 30-lap A-main event. Your starting lineup looks like this.
Well, position number 24 will be Aidan Welsh. To the inside, position number 23, it's Joseph McLaughlin.
Starting 22nd will be Trent Way, and starting 21st will be Brandon Unpreferred.
Anthony Guerin lines up at a position at number 20. Jordan Mahura lining up at a position number 19.
Starting 18th will be Michael Millard. Into his inside, Justin Zapp.
Then we go to row 8, Roman Gephardt out of position number 16. To the inside, Dylan Shrees out of position number 15.
Starting 14th will be Bradley Cox, and starting inside, row number 7 out of Pennsylvania, it's Doug Hamaker.
Dylan Allen out of position number 12. Nicholas McGeethy out of position 11.
Starting 10th will be Mason King, and starting 9th, it'll be Sean Stevens.
8th will be Justin Clark and Michael Corby out of position number 7.
Starting 6th, that'll be Gavin Krupp, and out on the inside will be Braden Baker.
Drew Hopkins out of position 4. Randy Shreves out of position number 3.
And your front row looks like this. Outside row number 1, out of New York, it'll be the 110 of Kevin Hanley. And on the pole, out of Australia, it's Hayden Warrington.
Well, we've got our 24 drivers. In fact, we've got 21 drivers, because 3 drivers failed to grid up for tonight's main event. I'm going to ask you, Jerry, who do you think is going to win tonight?
I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Kevin Hanley's got a monkey on his back, and tonight's his night to shake that monkey off his back. Kevin Hanley wins tonight's 30-lap A-main.
I'm going to go the guy that starts behind him. I'm going to go the guy that went quick time tonight, that picked up a heat number 1 victory. I'm going to go with Drew Hopkins.
We're about to find out as the Chevy Silverado pulls off the track. Green flag in the air. We are underway.
30 laps is on the board. We are racing here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Little contact there between Hopkins and I believe that might have been Gavin Krupp, but again, we work on lap number 1. Hanley getting a little loose there. Braden Baker forces it up the inside. Now here comes Drew Hopkins into position number 3. Hanley moves back to position number 4. Lap number 1 is in the books.
Hanley will battle back to the outside. Gets into the fence himself, has to check up just a little bit as we got caution on the speedway.
Oh, caution is out for the first time. Let's have a look and see if we can find out what happened here on our UltimateDirtTV instant replay. I think he's about to go slow-mo, but I can change that. And a click of a button. I believe that was Dylan Allen in the 1A machine, and he just had nowhere to go because that was Nicholas McGeethy who had some contact there on the front straightaway. And again, we'll see if we can find out what happened to McGeethy. He just came off the top of the racetrack. And the 66 gets into the back, but unfortunately sends the 73 upside down. And, well, that'll put an end to Nicholas McGeethy's night.
Hard break for those two drivers, especially Dylan Allen, running that Bobby Scruffy Allen throwback paint scheme, one of the Pennsylvania Posse's legends. Now Dylan Allen finds himself in the pit area. Hayden Warrington looking pretty good before the caution flag wave, but he's got a lot of great cars behind him, chopping at the bit to battle their way to the front.
Well, I think our caution laps are counting as well. I think that can be that might be an issue for some of the drivers, because if we do see, say for instance, if we see at least 3 yellows, generally that takes away, well, that's actually 9 laps. So then that leaves 21 laps remaining. Now the lights are out on the iRacing.com official pace truck. We're going to go green flag racing this time by, and no, it looks like the caution laps will not count. The ticker will just, once we go back green, it's just going to have a little moment to itself. It's going to chop and change. The driver's positions may chop and change as well, so bear with us. Once the timing is updated, then we know as well.
Isn't technology great?
Oh, it's a wonderful thing, right? It's a wonderful thing. But hey, you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world, because I'll tell you what, the timing software that we use, it's like no other. It is certainly the best in the business by far. Green flag is out. We're back underway down into turn number 1 and 2. Keep an eye on Drew Hopkins. Here comes Krupp and Hanley. Hanley to the outside. Hanley getting a run now on Drew Hopkins as we work into turn number 3.
Kevin Hanley working the middle of the track right now. That track reset helping him out a little. Some different lines. Meanwhile, Drew Hopkins right down on the bottom. Gavin Krupp tries to follow, clips that inside guardrail. That's going to hurt Gavin Krupp. Drops him back, still in 5th, but loses lots of ground to Hanley, Hopkins, and Baker and Warrington. As Warrington continues to lead, Hayden Warrington starting to feel a challenge, though. Braden Baker right to the rear tail tank of the number 21.
Well, what can Braden Baker do in the 71 machine? He'll go low into turn number 3, follow the 21 of Hayden Warrington. I'm 100%, I'm actually 99% sure that Hayden Warrington actually resides in New Zealand. So, tell you what, if he makes it into the top 4, I'm sure it'd be a nice little trip for Hayden Warrington to go over, and a chance at $1,000 to win.
And it'd be fun to have a Kiwi with us here in the States, for sure, at the Rumble of Fort Wayne. Right now, Hayden Warrington leads here tonight's 30-lap A main with Braden Baker right on his tail. Drew Hopkins starting to creep into the picture just a little bit each time. Looks like the bottom of the speedway may be starting to come in just a little bit.
Well, car into the wall. That's the 78 of Justin Clark. We've got Gavin Krupp falling back nearly outside of the top 10. There is Doug Hammaker in the 66 machine. Again, one of the 410 drivers in Pennsylvania trying to defend his turf, but you've got the posse trying to take one away right now. The battle is on, and there's a change for the race lead. It's the 71 of Braden Baker, the 21 of Warrington puts a slide, but Baker drives around him on the exit of turn number 2.
What a move by Braden Baker, mere inches between he and Hayden Warrington, and inches on the outside, around the outside wall, as Braden Baker takes the lead here on lap number 9. Hayden Warrington still second. Drew Hopkins now falling into the clutches of Kevin Hanley. Hanley starting to make his move on the high side around the famed Williams Grove Speedway. They're side by side down the front straightaway. Drew Hopkins with a slight advantage heading down into turns 1 and 2. Hanley slides up to the top of the track. He'll use that razor thin cushion to try to get a run. Hopkins still holds the 3rd spot.
Yeah, what a battle this is between Drew Hopkins and Kevin Hanley. Meanwhile, it's still Braden Baker, your race leader. Oh boy, Drew Hopkins got loose there off turn number 4. He may have hit the inside guardrail. And I'll tell you what, how about Doug Hammaker in the 66 machine, moved up to position number 5. And now, tell you what, the 66 right now, the PA driver, he knows how to get around the virtual Williams Grove Speedway. And I'm sure he's had some success around here at the Williams Grove Speedway in real life. And I tell you what, he's doing a nice job, and he's not too far away from breaking into the podium. But right now, the magic number, Jerry, is full, and that's what Drew Hopkins holds on to.
That's right, Brett. This is the top 4 going to advance to the the finale in Fort Wayne on December 18th. Right now, Drew Hopkins is in that 4th spot, but he's going to try for more as he looks inside Kevin Hanley again. Hanley back up to the fence, trying to hold him off, but here comes Doug Hammaker. Hammaker on a roll in that number 66. Watch out for that PA driver. He definitely knows his way around this Williams Grove Speedway as a caution flag waves yet again.
Yeah, caution flag. Just the 2nd time so far this evening. I'll tell you what, we explained about the track getting a refresh and getting re-groomed here during or just after the 4th heat race of the evening. As I said, right around the 15th lap, right around the half race distance is when we're going to see the track widen up. You'll see drivers work the top, drivers work the bottom. And Jerry, I think I know it. I think I've hit the nail on the head. We're right around the lap 15 mark. You've got the likes of Baker, Warrington running the top side, Hanley running the top, Drew Hopkins, Doug Hammaker, they're all on the bottom side. I think I've watched a number of races here at the Grove. I think I might know what I'm talking about.
I think for an Aussie, you definitely know what you're talking about Williams Grove. And, man, Brett, definitely hit the nail right on the head. Doug Hammaker right now is the man down the bottom. Going to be fun to watch this final 15 laps of tonight's 30-lap A main.
So now with the caution lights going out around the venue, we are coming back green. This time by Braden Baker leads the 71 machine. Hayden Warrington in 2nd. Kevin Hanley 3rd. Drew Hopkins in that all-important 4th and final transfer position. Doug Hammaker in 5th. He's at a +8. How about Michael Millard in 9th position? He's at a +9 as well. Trent Way started 22nd. He's a +8 on this field as well. But we're back to green flag action. Look at Kevin Hanley roll right through the middle of the speedway through turn number 1 and 2. We are starting lap 15, so this time by Jerry, we are officially halfway home. 15 down and 15 to go.
Cross flags in the air. Kevin Hanley battling with Hayden Warrington for that 2nd spot. Drew Hopkins starting to battle that close back in on Hanley. And here comes Doug Hammaker battling wheel to wheel with Hopkins.
Yeah, we just went yellow flag just then, just as that battle for the race lead was heating up, and just as the battle for that final transfer position was heating up as well. And I'm sure these drivers are itching to get back under the long green flag run that we had, because that was about a 10 or 11 lap stint there during this A main. And it can unsettle some drivers, because some drivers tend to get into a rhythm, and once they break that rhythm, it's hard. It can be difficult for some of those drivers to get back into that rhythm, and it might, if they do get back into that rhythm, Jerry, it'll take them 2, 3, even 4 laps to get back, get that groove back going again.
Absolutely, and you've heard it said a million times on different racing broadcasts, cautions breed cautions. So oftentimes, like you said, you'll see a guy have a problem, and then on a restart, a guy just hasn't got his rhythm back, and it causes trouble for the cars around him and him. So we'll see if we can get these guys back on a long green flag run. But like you said, it's tough to do to get that rhythm back.
Well, the lights are out on the iRacing.com official page truck. We are on what is showing lap 16 now. So once we go back to green, we'll start lap 17, which means 16 is complete. We've still got 14 to go. Jason Burke, thank you for the 100 stars. Appreciate it. Jerry, I tell you what, this race, it's still wide open at the moment.
Absolutely. Braden Baker made a great move to get to the front, But Hayden Warrenton not going to give up. Warrenton is definitely fast. Kevin Hanley right behind those two. I tell you what, could be a very interesting finish to tonight's A main. Caution waves yet again. Not happy with that restart. We're going to get them racked and stacked and try it again.
I'll tell you what, it's sure these drivers are starting to feel a little nervous right about now, knowing that we are less than half race distance away from putting 4 more drivers into that final race on December 18 for $1,000 to win. As we said earlier, we've already locked in 12 drivers. We lock in another 4 tonight, making it 16. And come the end of the year, before we get there, we're going to lock in a total of, I think, 36 or 40 drivers.
I believe it's 40 we'll have locked in. And then we will let them race for that 1,000 to win. As we're back to green flag racing here at the Williams Grove Speedway. That time a good restart for Braden Baker. Pulls away by about 6 car lengths over Hayden Warrenton. Warrenton trying to close in yet again right up on the outside of the track. Kevin Hanley now has switch lines. He's down at the bottom of the speedway, and he finds himself closing in on Hayden Warrenton.
Yeah, look at Hanley rolling through the middle through turn number 1 and 2. Hanley back to position number 2, coming after your leader. And we are yellow again. And as you said, cautions breed cautions. And this is where drivers start to get desperate. But what these cautions are doing, Jerry, is we've seen in the previous races that drivers been able to use what is known as a fast repair. Meaning, if they're involved in the wreck, say if they jump the cushion, they get into the fence, and they get up on the fence, they come back down. What that'll do, that'll actually bust the rear end in the race car. And the car will basically be like a crab walk down the straightaway. So, and what that fast repair does, they can go back to the pits, they can go in, and they use that fast repair. It basically gives them a brand new race car, and then they're able to come back out onto the racetrack. Well, things have changed here tonight. Drivers were told that there is no fast repairs. So, if they break their cars, if they crash out, they are done. If they go back to pit road, well, that's the end of their night. So, what it's done now is the 21 starters, due to those couple of cautions, we've seen drivers jump the wall, jump the cushion, be involved in an incident. We are left with 11 cars on the racetrack. So now we're dwindling the field down from 21 down to 11. Hopefully, with those 11 cars, they're able to obviously keep it off of each other, and they're able to get this, these extra, or these last, what will now be 12 laps in the books.
Absolutely. And then you notice just before that caution, from 4th to about 9th, we're all wadded up together because now you have a lot of cars very equal. And there you see it again, right on the restart. 2, 3 cars get together, stack up, and somebody spun their wheels. When we go to green with a Braden Baker out front, Kevin Hanley working to the inside of Hayden Warrenton again. This time Hanley will grab that second spot. Hanley working the bottom to the middle around this racetrack and finding some speed here tonight at the Williams Grove Speedway.
So how about this? You've got a couple of Americans in 1st and 2nd. You've got a Kiwi in 3rd. And you've got an Aussie in 4th position. Sean Stevens moves up to position number 4. But I tell you what, Michael Millard from 18th to position number 5. And I tell you what, he knows the iRacing.com scene. He knows how to get around in a sprint car, whether it be a 305, 360 or a 410. We're 3 wide for the lead. A short slider there from Warrington on Hanley. But again, Braden Baker back to the race, lead by 6 car lengths down into turn number 3.
Hanley closes again, and again he'll slide up to the top of the racetrack as Baker will go to the bottom. Hanley runs right in the middle of the racetrack. They heads to the top of turns 1 and 2 as Hayden Warrenton peeks to his inside again. He'll pull the slider. Here goes Warrenton as it looks like yellow flag waves yet again.
Well, what this is doing right now with these yellows, again, as I said, for the cars, or for the drivers that are involved, that was Bradley Cox, who has gone back to pit road. That's allowing, well, that's taking out, it can take it in between 1 up to 5 drivers, and sometimes, depending on how bad the wreck is, especially when you got what was scheduled to be a 24 car field, if you have a wreck in the mid-pack, for those guys that are coming from deep in the field, the likes of Michael Millard and the likes of Trent Way, who are plus 15 and plus 12 in this field, they've got to avoid those wrecks. They've got to make those split-second decisions to go with, whether they make it to go high or go low. if they get out of the gas, they've got to be careful of the drivers behind them as well. They've got to trust the other drivers around them to do the right things and make those right decisions. So there's a lot that goes on inside the virtual cockpit of a race car.
Absolutely, much like in a real race car, you got guys that maybe aren't quite as experienced as the rest, that maybe luck their way into a starting spot. But then you got these guys that, like Michael Millard, that has several laps that had to come through a B main and fight and claw his way from the back, and now finds himself in that 6th position. Michael Millard looking to punch his ticket, but he's got some great cars in front of him, including that Shark Racing 1S piloted by Gavin Krupp. We get ready to wind them up and go back to green, this time out of turns 3 and 4 here at the Williams Grove Speedway.
22 down and 8 remaining here at the Grove. Baker goes to the middle of the racetrack. Hanley follows suit through turn number 1 and 2. Hanley's now going to make a decision on trying to pick the correct line to get by the 71 of Baker. Don't discount out Hayden Warrington just yet. He'll go to the cushion. Hanley working the bottom side on the exit of turn number 4. Another lap in the book. 7 remaining.
Braden Baker, Kevin Hanley, and Hayden Warrington putting on a show, and they've got Sean Stevens not far behind them. Any mistake by any of these top 3 could definitely get Stevens right back in this. Michael Millard now finds himself in the top 5 as the battle for the lead heats up in turns 1 and 2.
It certainly does. Tell you what, this is going to be interesting because now Kevin Hanley to the race lead under the bridge here at the Grove. Warrington moves back to position number 2. Baker in 3rd. Stevens in that 4th and final transfer position. He's got Michael Millard closing in and Gavin Krupp as well. But the battle is on again for the race lead. We'll take a look at the battle for the final transfer position. Stevens holds on. He's got 4.5 circuits to go, Jerry.
Sean Stevens trying to hang on and punch his ticket into the Racing to the Rumble finale at the Rumble in Fort Wayne on December 18th. He gets a good run that time, pulls away from Michael Millard, and actually closes in on Braden Baker for 3rd now. The battle now heating up for 3rd. These 2 drivers right now have spots in the Racing to the Rumble finale, but contact between the 2 sends Sean Stevens up the racetrack. Yellow flag will wave.
What a tough break for Sean Stevens. He was in the top 4. And then all of a sudden, just one little mistake, just maybe misjudged. Maybe Baker got on the brakes too much. Stevens just gets into the back of him. And Stevens will have to go to the tail end of this field. And he'll have to go back to about what is sitting in 8th position at the moment. But what that does, how about Michael Millard in the 23? Prematurely with 3 to run. If it was to end here, he's going to be in the show.
Absolutely, coming from 18th starting position. Michael Millard right now in at that 4th and final transfer spot. But don't count out Gavin Krupp in that Shark Racing 1S. He's been right there. We've said his name a lot tonight. He keeps popping into the picture. I think he's got a chance, but it may take a mistake by one of these top 4 for him to get in.
Well, there's only 3 to run when we go back green. Hanley, Warrington, Baker, and Millard. That is your top 4. The pace track is still on, so we're probably sitting at 2 to green right now. And, well, this is where drivers may start to get desperate.
Absolutely. You know you got 3 laps left. You know you have guys like Kevin Hanley out front, Hayden Warrington, Braden Baker, Michael Millard. If you're a Gavin Krupp, a Michael Coy, a Trent Way, do you go for it all going down into turns 1 and 2 to try to make that bonsai move to the front? It's going to be anybody's race. This is going to be a wild 3 laps here at Williams Grove.
Yeah, 3 laps, 1.5 miles around the famous Williams Grove Speedway. Hanley leads from Warrington, Baker, and Millard. Gavin Krupp, well, he's on the outside looking in. Who will get the job done here at the Grove? We're about to find out. Off turn number 4, Kevin Hanley stands on the loud pedal. We're back underway, Jerry.
Kevin Hanley will lead him down into turns 1 and 2. Hayden Warrington tries to slide up underneath. They'll both continue on. Hanley with about a 4-car length lead, heading down into turns 3 and 4. Hayden Warrington will head to the top of the track now to see if he can find some ground there. Battle down the front straightaway now as Hanley stretches it out just a little bit.
2 to run for your race leader, the 110 machine of Kevin Hanley. Warrington now look at Baker. He's under some pressure from Millard. Millard moves him up the racetrack, and Millard moves into position number 3. This time by. White flag is out. 1 to run.
Kevin Hanley with a comfortable lead heading into turns 1 and 2. Now he just has to get down the back straightaway, pass under the bridge, and 2 final corners to pick up tonight's checker flag. Kevin Hanley in the middle of the racetrack. High, wide, and handsome down the front straightaway. Give the win to Kevin Hanley. Hayden Warrington comes home second. Michael Millard third from 18th. And Braden Baker completes the top 4.
Well, what a way to wrap up race number 4 here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Racing to the Rumble. Let's quickly go through your rundown. I'll go through 1 to 10. Kevin Hanley, Hayden Warrington, Michael Millard, and Braden Baker, your top 4 that are going to lock in. Gavin Krupp in 5th. Sean Stevens, 6th. Michael Corby, 7th. Trent Way in 8th. 9th went to Drew Hopkins. And 10th was Doug Hammaker.
11th goes to Randy Shreves. 12th, Bradley Cox. 13th, Dylan Shreves. 14th, Mason King. 15th, Justin Clark. 16th, Anthony Guerin. Aiden Welch comes home 17th, followed by Nicholas McGeethy in 18th. 19th, Dylan Allen. 20th, Jordan Maherther. Brandon Overfirth, 21st. Roman Gephardt, Justin Zapp, and Joseph McLaughlin not making the call for tonight's AMA.
Oh, there we go. Race number 4 is complete. And I tell you what, I mean, we had a great run there at the start. Once we got to the half race distance, it was obviously, broken up into, 1, 2, 3, 4 lap stints there. But I tell you what, it all come down to those final 3 laps. And, well, Kevin Hanley, at the end of the day, Jerry and who you're going to be talking to in just a moment, he's going to go to victory lane. He's going to go into the show.
Kevin Hanley, you got your ears on, buddy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Man, what a race. Battling hard with Drew Hopkins through the first third of the race, and then Hayden Warrington throughout the entire second half of that race, putting on great battles all night long. That final restart, though, had to be the key to your victory.
Yeah, I was just kind of biding my time the whole time, trying to keep the car clean. I kind of knew it was going to come to me at the end when it slicked off, and that last restart, I was just able to kind of run my line around the middle and pull away from him.
Well, congratulations, Kevin. You are locked in to December 18th Racing of the Rumble finale at the Rumble in Fort Wayne with a chance to pick up $1,000. Man, how's it feel to pick up this win tonight?
Oh, it feels pretty good. My goal was just to qualify for the show. Picking up the win, that's just a bonus, man.
Well, you'll pick up that $50 feature win bonus from Down and Dirty Racewear. Let's talk about everybody helps you with your race car.
The car, it's pretty much just me. But I'd like to thank everyone that puts on the event, putting up the $50. Down and Dirty Racewear, Rumble in Fort Wayne, Tim Sims, UDTV to put it on the broadcast, and if there's anyone I'm forgetting, shout out to them too.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin. Congratulations once again on picking up tonight's Racing to the Rumble feature win at the Williams Grove Speedway.
Well, we are. I don't think we're waiting on our second and third place and fourth place drivers. We'll give them a minute or two to get in. If not, we'll have to wrap this one up because I've actually got to be somewhere else right now, but I can give them a couple of minutes.
Well, while we're waiting for them, I want to tell everybody to keep your eyes on the show here at Racing to the Rumble next month. Just heard from Tim Nichols. He's got some more free 3-month subscriptions for new subscribers. They will have some goodies there for you. Also, next month on Tuesday, September 21st, we head to the virtual Volusia Speedway Park for round number 5 of Racing to the Rumble presented by Fatheads Eyewear. Should be a great event there, just like tonight. We talked about it. Kevin Hanley looking to shake off that monkey, picking up tonight's win, but he had to work hard for it, getting around guys like Hayden Warrington, Drew Hopkins early.
Tell you what, Drew Hopkins must be somewhat kicking himself because he is went quick time tonight, picked up a heat number 1, heat 1 victory, and started position 4 in this main event. And unfortunately, he ends up with a ninth place finish here tonight. No doubt he'd be disappointed, but I'm sure he'd be happy at the same stage, because what that has done for him is he's been able to prove that he's a late model guy, and he's come in the 410 sprint car here at the Grove, and he's just put it to these guys. Some of these drivers run sprint cars quite a bit.
Absolutely, and to do it at a track like Williams Grove that is so technical and tricky, especially when it gets slicked off like it was tonight. Drew's got to keep his head up for that, because he had a heck of a run tonight.
Yeah, it certainly does. All right, well, tell you what, we're gonna wrap things up here, Jerry. What a race it was! Just a great race. Looking forward to race number 5 next week at the next month at the Volusia Speedway Park.
Absolutely, Tuesday, September 21st, we'll be at the virtual Volusia Speedway Park. On behalf of Brett and everybody at UDTV, Tim Sims, Racing to the Rumble and the Rumble at Fort Wayne, I'm Jerry Keyser. We look forward to seeing you next month right here at Racing to the Rumble.